You know, a deserving win and a great game for one guy, Zaire-Emery, not even 18 years old, having a great game.
Tell us about him, Frank.
Well, he's a young guy. He appeared 10 times out of 12 games for Paris Saint-Germain, and have shown his talent. I mean, that's crazy. That's what we see with young guys nowadays, is that they don't have any fear, any kind of... they show maturity at that level, and that's really surprises me. He knows exactly what to do, when to do it, and playing very simple, which I think is the most difficult thing in football. Sees everything before everyone. While the guy has, for sure, if he's not injured at some point, will have a great future, for sure.
He, of course, set up the first goal for Kylian Mbappe, and as much as we talk about the circus and the transfers and all the talk and the contracts, when he's on the pitch and he's scoring goals like this, he's something special.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And look, he has to be the guy that stands up when this team are not performing and they're under pressure, and they were, and they have been. This, for me, was not so much about performance. I think longer down the road, they can worry about that. This was about making sure that... We talked about it in yesterday's show with Julian. This guy, Luis Enrique, is under pressure. Is still under pressure, but was under pressure to get a result. Their performance at St James's Park was awful. And they needed some sort of response, and they got it in this game. And if we just go back... Yeah, Mbappe carries a lot of the can, but if we go back to Zaire-Emery at 17, you know... And I presume we're going to talk about Barcelona at some point, and they've got some great kids, obviously, coming through and getting some opportunities because of injuries and doing very well. It is great to see some of these top clubs with billions and billions spent and money in the bank, that young players are still getting an opportunity. They've moved and are moving on some experienced players like Marco Verratti and others in key positions and saying, no. You know, OK, you might be a bit of a problem, but you're a quality player, and we believe these younger players can come in, will do a better job, and are ready to play in the Champions League. I think he's already got a record for Champions League appearances for one so young. So there's a lot to look forward to for PSG, but it was just about getting a big result tonight. Do I think they're going to be close to winning this competition? No, I don't. I absolutely don't. But they'll get to the knockout stages and they'll take their chances.
However, you say that, you look at the final third, you look at Dembele, Muani and Mbappe. If those three can click, then they can pressure any defence in this tournament.
No.
No?
That's not true, Dan. Because we were saying that about PSG with Mbappe, Neymar and Messi.
Because no one's tracking back? Is that where we're still at?
Well, because Dembele still yet to score for PSG. So we've been waiting for him to click for a long time. Barcelona are still waiting for him to click, and it hasn't quite happened. Kolo Muani, some bright moments, some not so bright moments. It doesn't feel like there's consistency there yet. I still look at this team, and whether they're going to be successful or not cannot depend on a 17-year-old. As good as he was today, he ends up being their best player, and is that what they're leaning on? And while I agree that it's great that a young player is taking this leadership role and is taking on this responsibility and is playing with confidence and has no scars, and best of all, no complaints. You know what the 17-year-old doesn't do? He doesn't complain, he doesn't whine that he doesn't get the ball, he's not getting paid enough, or he didn't get this contract or this, that, and the other. You put him out there, he's happy to be out there, and guess what? And he gives you productivity. That's sort of the example that the rest of PSG should follow. But in terms of your question as to what their long-term future is in this competition, through the midfield and defensively, they have to be better. Milan did not want to play today. They did not. They never engaged in the fight, and Frank alluded to it. They played with no passion whatsoever. They were so very passive defensively. They allowed PSG to just move the ball around whenever they wanted to. But Newcastle showed how you can play against PSG. You get in their faces, you challenge them, and this team kind of falls over. They don't really have the answers, and they just say, oh, give it to Mbappe, he'll figure it out. And it doesn't quite work out when you get further in this competition. They have to improve a lot in order for them to be a major player in Champions League.
You buckled there, didn't you, son?
What?
You threw a bone at Ali, he bit it, ran with it, and you never came back with anything.
Well, I don't think I need to.
What, you threw it out there, you got in the ring and you put the gloves up, you punched you in the nose, and you came back with nothing.
I'm not going to punch back over the front three of PSG. I'm not dying on that sword.
Well, you died on the sword with a question.
Hey, I'm quite happy. I just put the questions out there. I don't necessarily have any belief in the
Sat there
question.
nodding like a nodding dog.
What am I going to say?
Put up some sort of fight, man, for God's sake.
Ali makes very valid points. Are they as hesitant?